What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? Your boy Gage is here with jokes.
Yo, yo.
You are now tuned into Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things happening in pop culture. And today,
Today?
today we are going to discuss our most anticipated projects of 2026. We will touch a bit on some of the news that has come out of CES. Um, I guess we're gonna talk about this new Doomsday trailer, teaser.
Teaser.
Um, and we're gonna talk about the Stranger Things finale. No spoilers. But before we do that, jokes,
Mm-hmm.
we'll make sure that you have a link directly to our website. From there, you can go and follow us everywhere across social media, including checking us out on Patreon, which is really one of the best ways to support us. It allows you to
Mm-hmm.
support us monetarily, so that we can continue to do what we're doing. We are three people trying to go to a lot of events and cover a lot of things and create a lot of content. And we are extremely happy to have the folks that jump in and help us out when they do. They are such an important part of it. But we certainly couldn't do it without the help and assistance that we get from the folks on Patreon. So if you can, please support us there or share
Mm-hmm.
it so other people can do that as well. It is now time for the 619 Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you for.
We do truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out, for supporting us, for putting some dollars in the bank.
Yes. Looks like we got a couple
Jokes.
people in the house already.
Yeah. What up, Andrew? Um, Candace, how are you? Jokes, have you seen the teaser?
I have.
Okay. Had you already seen the teaser before today?
I'd seen the leaks.
So yes. Like
Yeah.
you didn't go to the theater and watch Avatar so that you could see.
No.
All right. I don't know if we need to show it. Do we need to? We don't need to show it, do we?
I think. Let's ask folks. Have y'all watched it? Do you want to see it? Because if not, we can just talk about it.
It's like a minute. Really, we can just talk about it. I feel like we can talk about it. It's there if you want to. I dropped you a link, but look again. We've talked about what was going to be next. Who was going to be next? We kind of already knew when we talked about it. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
people are they going to show, and what matters, and what's the big deal. So, at this point, Steve Rogers, Thor, and now Magneto, Professor X, and Cyclops,
Mm-hmm.
James Marsden, right? Okay, who's next?
Uh, Black Panther, M'Baku, Ben Grimm. It's already out there.
Whoa. Yeah, look, this is beginning to feel a little overwhelming. I'm actually beginning to get nervous about this movie. I don't want to say that I feel like they've bitten off more than they can chew.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's a lot of people, man. It's a
Yeah.
lot of people. It's just a lot of characters, a lot of timelines, a lot of stories to catch up on, and trying to make sure that the audience can successfully follow
Hmm.
any and all of what's going on. Because I'm gonna tell you what, I will be thoroughly disappointed if, like, jokes. In your opinion,
Hmm.
what's the worst MCU film?
Ooh, the worst MCU film at this point. Jesus, a whole bunch to go through it now and think of. Mm, Black Widow?
Absolutely not.
Maybe,
Absolutely
maybe.
not.
Trying to think.
It'll come to you. Keep going. Takes place basically at the beginning of the timeline.
Captain Marvel?
Oh, it's kind
No,
of
you
like
you
where we
said
got
timeline.
Animanium from. It's how we got Animanium.
Oh, you're talking about the first X-Men movie?
Nope. In the MCU, how we get Animanium.
Oh, what? Captain America
Oh, that's how we got it. That's how we got it. But where did we get it from?
or the Eternals?
Ding, 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 ding. Bro, I think that movie's great, but it's the worst MCU
Same.
film. That movie's great, but it's the worst MCU film. And if the Eternals are not in Doomsday, I'm gonna be upset.
I don't think they are.
I need, bro. Listen to me. Somebody has to redeem that film. They have to redeem those characters. There's so much potential in them. So, I mean, give me something. Where are they? Where have they been? What is
Hmm.
going on for all of this time? All the things that are happening, all the like, we're not supposed to interfere, blah, blah, blah. All right, so then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? I don't.
Doom's coming. This is probably gonna be the time y'all need to interfere because the way they putting this gonna take everybody.
Well, look, if they're bringing mutants in, and mutants are technically supposed to be the quote unquote creatures that they were after, like they were really supposed to be the through line. Like they were supposed to be the
Hmm.
one who were connecting mutants to the MCU in some way. And so, like, if mutants are coming, they ought to be involved. Like that's just how I feel about it to make it make sense. But for all intents and purposes, outside of them getting adamantium into the MCU, I think that most people could be okay just acting like that movie never happened.
Hmm.
Just completely forgetting it and just being like, what are you talking about? Um, it's going to be interesting to see how, I think what a lot of people are looking forward to is the opportunity for a lot of these characters to interact with one another. And I don't
Hmm.
necessarily think that's going to happen. I think that a lot of these
Yeah.
characters are going to be in their own worlds, in their own timelines, and that we're not necessarily going to see them cross over. If you think about the way that like Infinity War and Endgame happened,
Mm-hmm.
generally speaking, for the most part, there are some characters that are together, but they're characters that never meet each other. Like they're
Hmm.
just like characters are on completely different planets.
Off
They're in space
worlds
on a
and everything.
ship.
Yep.
They're in like there's a lot happening, and you're following it all and trying to follow it all, but like everybody is somewhere else.
Hmm.
And so I don't necessarily know. I think that the potential of what they're setting up in terms of getting to a battle world, defeating Doom, and turning everything into one
One
universe
universe
where
and.
everything exists, and they're now in a position to say, okay, yes, we gave you Steve Rogers, but we're getting ready to replace him with a new guy. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like we're gonna have a new actor, it's gonna be young again, and we're gonna do it. We're kind of starting from scratch again. Is where we're headed, and if they handle it right, it'll be fine. but
Mhm.
we shall see. Still
Yeah,
feeling
like we
like
could
quite a
do.
lot.
Got a couple people chiming in. J. Robert Deans.
Uh, Robert Dean said, "I agree. Eternals is a solid film, but ultimately was off formula, which may be why I liked it. I would agree.
Hmm.
In our I have had multiple debates about that film. On another show that I do, there was we I had a debate about the Oscar caliber of that film and Chloe Zhao and what she brought to it. And the MCU, Disney, Marvel was riding very high, and they were messing around with doing films that weren't superhero films, but were comedies or political thrillers, or even trying to mess around a little bit with horror with stuff with Sam Raimi or whatever, but that had superpowered individuals in them, and not just like, here's a comic book flick, you know what I mean, or whatever. And bringing Chloe Zhao in to direct that film, it is an incredible film. It is beautifully shot. Cinematography is incredible. The music in that film is incredible. And if you watch that film like it's not part of the MCU, which is relatively
Hmm.
easy to do because there's nobody else in it. Like, there are no
Yeah, it
other
stands alone.
characters
It
like there
stands to
in it.
itself. It could have just been,
Yeah,
other superpowered beings that it would have been just its
yeah,
own superhero type of thing, and it didn't have to actually fall into it.
yeah. If you can imagine that it was like, I don't know, the Eternals were some indie offshoot of Marvel or
Hmm.
something like that. That did, you know what I mean? And somebody was like, "We're gonna take this and we're gonna do a movie with it." Yeah. I think it's a brilliant film. It doesn't do what the other films do, and it doesn't hit the marks the same way. It's a little bit longer in terms of runtime. Um, it's different in terms of following it, the way the story is laid out. Um, but man, it's really a good movie. But in terms of like MCU films, when you think of MCU movies, if you're not doing like Black Panther, Civil War, you're not there. You know what I mean? Like, you're not quite there. So, um, yeah, I would love to see the Eternals get another run at it in somebody else's movie. I'd be cool with that.
Hmm.
So I am hoping that they show up, at least a couple characters in some manner.
Yeah.
See what they do with it. But you know, we'll see. Gearing up for the big Super Bowl trailer, I'm sure.
Hmm. Definitely. It's gonna be the place.
Jokes.
Hmm.
How much do you care about Stranger Things?
I haven't watched any of it, so I don't have a leg in this race.
And you could just say not at all. I don't care at all.
And it's not the fact that I don't care. I don't know why. I just didn't get in and start watching it. Originally, I said when they originally announced the final episode was going to be in theaters, like, because I think each season's maybe like 8 or 9 episodes, maybe, give
Sure.
or take. Yeah, like, well, I was going to end up trying to binge into it, and I just never did it. But I may slow burn and
I'll be
watch it
honest. I
eventually.
think it's a hard binge. I think it's
Hmm.
a very difficult binge. It's not super hard to follow, but it just, I don't know. My personal opinion is that it drags a little bit
Hmm.
over the course of like a binging. Um, but it's done. Maybe. The finale is out. Netflix put it in theaters,
Hmm.
and over the course of a weekend, they pulled in somewhere between 25 and 30 million dollars. I've seen 25
Hmm.
to 28, I've seen 25 to 30, but let's just say between 25 and 30 million dollars, right? Um it's hard to measure what that really means
Mm-hmm.
in terms of Netflix and theaters and how well this works. It is one of those things where you have people that are firmly on the side of like, no, Netflix wants to get rid of movie theaters, which I don't necessarily believe. I don't think that makes good business sense.
No, agreed.
Um, I think as long as there's a revenue model that you can turn dollars from, there's a reason for you as Netflix to want people to be able to go to theaters to see, whatever it is. I do think it means a change in your standard business practices that have worked for you. Um, but exclusivity to your streaming platform is still exclusive to your streaming platform, even if people can go see it in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not positive that there is a better way to advertise to someone who doesn't have Netflix that they should get Netflix than by putting something in the theater that the only other place you can see it is on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a better commercial than that. Like I'm not sure you can market or add that any better, especially when you only show the finale. Like you show
Mm-hmm.
the very last episode of something that's got 5 seasons, and if and everybody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to see it, if you want to figure out why everybody's so excited, why it's such a big deal, why the tickets sold out almost immediately and they had to keep adding shows. If you have any inclination based on what they did with K-pop Demon Hunters and then turn around and look at what they just did again with Stranger Things, with again a single technically episode. It's a long episode. It's
Mm-hmm.
over 2 hours, right? But
Oh, okay. Dang, yeah, movie.
yeah, I mean it's a movie. But here's the thing. So because of the way the cast contracts are set up, because of the rules with the guilds,
Mm.
Netflix could not put this in theaters and sell tickets for it
Mm.
contractually. They didn't. What they did was they sold concession stand vouchers for food and drinks. So AMC and Cinemark,
Mm-hmm.
$20 a pop. And that $20 got you, it guaranteed you a seat,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a voucher that you were getting for popcorn and soda,
That
food and
explains
drinks
why
right at the theater.
you couldn't use like because I looked at it originally because I was going to end up getting the tickets just to have because we have the AMC Movie Pass, but
Right.
you couldn't use stubs with it. So
Mhm.
that makes sense on why you couldn't do it because essentially they were taking the money and using it for the concessions set up on there. That makes sense.
Correct. Now, here's the other thing. Regal sold their vouchers for $11
Mm-hmm.
based on the character 11, right? So they did $11. The other theaters did $20. Again, they raked in somewhere between 25 and $30 million over the course of a single weekend, and Netflix let the theaters keep 100% of the profit. 100% of the profit.
Oh.
So I'm going to say again, I don't know if there's a better market, if there's
Mm-hmm.
better advertising, if there is a better commercial than the movies. The movies have always been, not they haven't always been. Ever since home video has been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever it is, the movies have always been the commercial for what eventually will
Whatever.
be the home market. That's what it is. If a movie goes to the theater and it does really well and it becomes a blockbuster, people are going to want to buy it. For a lot of movies, if it doesn't do well, it doesn't do well until it hits DVD or VHS or whatever format happened to be the popular format at the time. Now that format happens to be streaming. And it means that you pay them a monthly fee, or whatever. But let me ask you a question, Jokes. And just humor me for a minute. When I met you, right? You were coming into Best Buy like once a week with your mom, shopping with your mom, and buying 1 or 2 DVDs or Blu-rays like a week. Would you say that's about right?
On some occasion, it was way more than that. Depending on what got released that week.
And at the time, a Blu-ray, a DVD on sale was somewhere in the $20 range.
Yeah.
Okay. $20 a week for a single movie. Right now, you pay between $20 and $25 generally a month to stream Netflix. Like, I hear people, like, we've talked about how expensive it's getting to do streaming and how many different streaming services there are, whatever. But as a person who sold movies, DVDs, VHSs, and Blu-rays to people for a living for almost a decade, actually for more than a decade, I watched people, the same people, come into the store every week, and buy whatever the new releases were. Mind you, these people were also going to the movie theater across the street and buying tickets and going to the movies on a regular basis. The amount of money that people have spent to watch movies based on what they see in the theater, what does well, what doesn't, has always been more than what we currently pay for streaming if you're doing like 2 or 3 streaming services. It's always been more than that. It's really not different. And I think that people and you're getting so much more. Like, you would pay $20 for a single DVD, for a single Blu-ray, $30 when Blu-rays first came out, right? You'd pay that much for one. Movie tickets were way less than that, but you'd pay that for one, and now you pay that for the month, and you have access to
whole bunch more stuff
and thousands, right? Like, I don't. The theater has always been the first market for the second market that is streaming, and streaming over time has become a first market. It's coming direct to streaming. But if you remember, direct to DVD / direct to cable or direct to streaming used to be a bad thing because they didn't put the kind of money into it, right? That you got when you put money into a blockbuster movie or whatever. If something went straight to DVD, you were like, I don't know.
You kind of sus. You're like, oh, it must not gonna be that good.
But listen, but here's the thing. How long did we make fun of or talk about direct to DVD? Like, how long did we make fun of it? Like, oh, that thing going straight to DVD. You know that's
DVD, it's gonna be garbage.
But let me tell you something. They never stopped doing it, which means they had to be making money on it. Like, it was regardless of what you think about it or what you said about it or whatever, the money that they were not spending in making it a full-on, let's send it to the theater, the money they were saving in that budget, that they were making something and putting it direct to DVD and shipping it, they were making money on them. If they weren't, they wouldn't have kept doing it. And everybody did it. Like, it's not like your favorite sequels to your favorite Disney movies used to ever go to the theater. How many Little Mermaid movies are there? It ain't just one. We only talk about one.
But there's like 4 of them at the if that, maybe more than that by now.
Did Aladdin 2 go to the movies?
Oh.
No, dog. Return of Jafar was straight to DVD, bro. Like, They have always, it has even the big major companies that technically had the money. Like, think about it now. If you were Disney right now and you made the kind of money on a brand new release like an Aladdin, the way that brought
Hmm.
money in the theater, when you greenlight Aladdin 2, wouldn't you think we need to put that in the theater?
You would think.
No, dog, that's not what they
Not
did,
anymore.
because that home market was such a big deal. Well, now that home market is streaming. Like, it's just, that's where the flip is. It's always been like that. So, like, the idea that Netflix wants to get rid of theaters doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make good
Hmm.
business sense to me. I just think it's not smart, and I don't think that's where they're going. And I think that this, in and of itself, in some manner, is maybe a little bit of an olive branch. Like, yo, we're trying to solidify this deal with Warner Brothers, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have all this stuff that's going to come to us. But, like, again, let me be really, really realistic with you. Let's think about the things that we've talked about over this show over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years,
Hmm.
right? Let's look at Microsoft. Let's even look at Sony, right? And Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, right? The idea was, oh my goodness, they're going to spend this money, buy Activision Blizzard, they're going to lock it down. It's only going to be on Xbox. People are going to buy Xboxes and all these other games. They won't be able to play them anywhere else. They'll put them in Game Pass, blah, blah, blah. They're going to sell crazy consoles. What did they do? They buy it,
Nope.
and now that they have it, they're like, we're putting it on PlayStation. We're going to put it on
Hmm.
Switch. We're going to put it on PC. We're going to put it everywhere. We're going to put it everywhere we can to make money. There is a part of me that truly believes that the people behind whatever's going on at Netflix that buy something like WB, they don't hoard that and keep it to themselves. They use
Hmm.
the exact same thing that has worked for everybody else, including themselves over time, which is, we can now make money by licensing Warner Brothers product
To certain other
back
streaming
to
services,
Amazon
wherever it may
Prime,
be at. Hmm.
back to, like, it doesn't. So they can take the L and say, you know what, we are going to show it on Netflix, but we're also going to put it here. And it's okay for
Hmm.
us to put it on Prime because Amazon is going to pay us to have access to the license. Like, that just makes really good sense to me. And when you have the kind of service that they have, where the fact of the matter is, people cannot possibly watch all of the content you have, it makes sense for you to say, even if we were to take it all and put it all on Netflix right now, who can watch
Hmm.
that? So we'll have it for a little while. We'll run certain times where we keep the stuff for ourselves. We'll run it at certain times where, yep, it's on Peacock and it's here.
Hmm.
But then there will be times where we exclusively let Amazon Prime have
Whoever.
it. We
Hey,
exclusively
listen.
let
You
Hulu
bring
and
up
Disney have it.
you bring that up because like right, it's vice versa right now. But Amazon's actually doing that with Netflix. Since Amazon now has MGM, they're
MGM.
actually allowing all the James Bond movies to go to Netflix. I think that starts like next week. And so you'll be able to watch all 25 Bond movies on Netflix. And I'm sure in return, there's
And
probably some reverse that
exactly.
they'll do. Hmm.
Exactly, right? Because they're in business together. Like, we have to keep in mind that, like, for all the rivalries that we see when we look at businesses, Sony versus Microsoft and Sony have been in bed together, making products together for almost as long as both companies have existed,
Yeah.
right? Like,
That's how they get the
Sony
products out around the
versus
same
Microsoft,
time.
they're doing processes. Yeah, like, we know, you know as well as I do that, like, in the businesses that we deal in, Sony makes a PlayStation Portal. Sony makes TVs. Who do you
Hmm.
think makes the screen in the PlayStation Portal? It ain't Sony.
Nope.
It's
A
Samsung.
Samsung.
Because Samsung makes everybody's screen. Just like they made the screen in the PSP. Right? Like, 9 times out of 10, a TV you get, the screen is made by Samsung. Even if the engine
Hmm.
or the AI or whatever else is in it is powering it, the screen is made. Like, Nintendo and Sony being in bed together to make the Nintendo PlayStation, but Sony made the sound chip in the original NES
Hmm.
and the SNES. They've been working to, like, it's just, that is the nature of the business, right? They both have partnerships with AMD. They both have partnerships with Nvidia, right? So
Hmm.
Amazon, Netflix, and again, I want to just make this clear. we know we've talked about Amazon and AWS, Amazon Web Services, right? We've
Hmm.
talked about how like PlayStation Network, like the
Everybody's
actual
stuff
PSN,
runs.
runs on Amazon. Literally half of the internet runs on Amazon. What does Netflix run on? It runs on Amazon Web Services. You can't get Netflix without Amazon.
Dog.
So in the
People
same
act like
way,
people don't put two together when stuff be going down, like in like all at the same time. It's like, yeah, it's in the same place.
bro, forever, like AT&T, Verizon owned all of the actual landlines in the area,
Hmm.
right? So regardless of who you paid your phone bill to, they were licensing those landlines from Verizon or from AT&T, Bell Atlantic
Hmm.
for forever. That is how business has been done forever. Someone has always had the major route or whatever, and somebody else has always paid a licensing fee to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In some way, shape, or form. That's the nature of what it is. So, like, to me, the movie theater, what's what's not great about movies doesn't have anything to do with streaming services.
Hmm.
It has everything to do with the cost of tickets and what it means to go there. There's also, and we've never really talked about this, but I think that there's a direct correlation between the decline of movie ticket sales and people being able to choose their seats when they bought a movie theater ticket. And here's why. It used to be you go online or you call a theater or you go up to the movie theater and you say, I want a ticket for this movie. And they say,
Hmm.
okay, you buy 2 tickets and you walk in the theater and you hope you can find seats together. Or you make sure you go early. You get in line early
Hmm.
and you go. But
Ooh,
now what happens is you look and you go, we'll talk to each other
pick your
like, y'all
seat.
trying to go? Yeah, let's go. You look on it. I don't see any seats together. Let's try a different one. Never mind. We're
Hmm.
not going because we can't get seats together or there's no good seats left, right? I don't want to sit all the way up there and I don't want to sit all the way down there. But like when you used to buy a ticket, you didn't know. The
Hmm.
closest thing you had was somebody be like, it's sold out. That's it.
That's it.
But the truth is, the moment they made it so that wasn't a thing anymore, you now can choose the seats that you want to have and pick where you want. If you're not the first person to buy your tickets or the first few people to buy your tickets or whatever it is, it becomes much more difficult for you to be like, all right, well, I want good seats. This is where I like to sit. Look, we do this often enough that like
Hmm.
I'm sitting dead in the center of the theater. I'm
Yep.
like right in the center of the theater from left to right and distance from the screen. Like that's where I'm getting my tickets at. That's where I'm fitting to sit. And I'll inch back a little bit, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Inch forward a little bit to the left and the right a little bit, but generally speaking, nah, these are the seats that I want. And if I look and they're not there, I'm gonna act like it's sold out. We can't go to that
Yeah.
show. We'll see this.
Hey, yo,
Think
what's the next
about it, dog.
time?
Like you don't act like you don't do that. Like you look and then
Oh
you just
no,
be
I
like, you know what?
100%
Let me see
do.
what the next showing is. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what the next showing is. Dang, that joint sold out too. It's not sold out, bro. It's not sold out. You know it's not sold out.
You just don't want to sit everywhere else.
The seats that you want don't exist. They're not there anymore. Somebody beat you to it. So you act like it's sold out. So like theaters can't sell out like they used to sell out because
Hmm.
the seats nobody wants, nobody buys. So you know what they have to do? They have to raise the already ridiculous prices of the concessions to offset the money that they're losing in ticket sales because they don't really make good money in
Hmm.
ticket sales anyway, which means that now you're selling fewer concessions to people, which is where you make your profit. And
Yep.
so, in order for you to make more money on fewer people, you have to raise the prices on the concessions. And then everybody goes, hey, dog, I'm not doing that. I'm going to tuck these joints in my pocket. You also used to not be able to get movie theater style or size packaging for snacks and stuff
Hmm.
anywhere except the theater. And then Blockbuster came along and you could get them at
Yep.
Blockbuster. And now you can walk in Five Below.
You can't.
You can walk in Five Below, bro. And it be Five Belows next to almost every theater, dog. Like Five Below is getting all the concession money. The issue
Not
isn't
gonna lie
screening.
there. Mm-hmm.
That's not what it is. So there's something else that theaters need to do to get people in. And as much as people would hate it, I think they got to get rid of allowing people to pick their seats.
Ooh,
I think, listen, no, real talk. I know, listen, I know you hate it, but listen, just hear me out. First showing of every big movie, you can't pick your seats. You just buy your tickets.
And not lying. 2 hours before the damn movie starts.
Like, think about it. There are people who have no idea what that's like. Their entire lives, they've been able to pick their seats when they go to
Pick
the
their
theater.
seats.
Their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about people who don't know that phone numbers used to only be 7 digits. Jokes. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
No area code.
this is a real thing, right? They're gonna revolt. But you know what? Most of them not buying tickets anyway.
Yeah.
They parents buying the tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, I would much rather go to the drive-in than go to a regular theater. Not just for the experience, but it's the same thing. You gotta go and you gotta go early so you get a good spot. You pay the same price. You know what I mean? You go in and you gotta park somewhere where you got a good spot, where you got a good view, you know what I mean, of the screen, and you want to get there early. So you go and you wait in line like 2 hours early. All that's gone, bro. Like the excitement of
Yeah.
midnight movies and
Midnight
the
releases
excitement,
used
like,
to be the best thing.
correct,
Oh,
correct. It's all gone. It's all gone. So I'm at a place now where I think, it's just, it ain't gonna happen. Like, whatever it is that theaters need, it needs to be something that is so special and so niche, like what K-pop Demon Hunter was. We're just gonna put it in the theater for a few days or whatever, and we're only doing the sing-along version, like what Stranger Things was. And that's not to say that there aren't movies like, again, Zootopia 2, for whatever reason,
hey, listen,
like
it's
the number one
killing
movie
right now.
globally, killing it,
It's about to
killing it,
surpass
bro.
Frozen. I was just like,
I know. And nobody's singing any songs about it, and that's
no,
crazy.
I don't even think it has songs.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Like, Frozen was a phenomenon partially because the music. Like, you couldn't get away from it at all anywhere. It's just not how it works. So I think that I'm not gonna say that I think Netflix doing what they're doing and buying Warner Brothers will be good for theaters. But I certainly think that there's a lot more to it than just like, oh, streaming services are getting more powerful, and that's gonna mean that movie theaters go away, and that's gonna take away a lot of jobs and take away a lot of, like, that's just not where I'm at. I understand that point of view. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? From a business standpoint. So we'll see what happens. We're not making any of those decisions. We just
Nope.
going to the movies or not.
That's it.
All right, jokes. CES. Real quick. CES 2026. So right now we have our own correspondent, Kay, is in
Yeah.
Vegas at CES right now. So for those of you who are hanging out with us here, stay tuned to our Instagram and to our YouTube shorts, because all of the content of like the newest tech and TV and stuff like that, just like what you see Cave do when he does Tech Bites, will be coming throughout the week, with Kay checking out CES on our behalf. But there are some things that we need to talk about. One, Lego was at CES, which is not a thing that happens. What they unveiled, I thought, was really interesting, super dope, and just looking at it from a standpoint of like, all right, we're going into like actual smart bricks, that you have a smart brick that you put near another brick and it knows what it is. Like, it knows the minifigures. It knows if you put it, same brick, you put it next to a car, and now it makes the car engine sound like it's going. If you run it back and forth, that's what it does. If you flip it over, it makes the sound of a car crash. I don't know if you saw that today. They actually had a combination Lego and Star Wars
I
thing at
saw the segment.
CES. This is what I'm talking about, Jokes. These are the kinds of things that break people's wallets. This is it's also why I love CES. I love gadgets. I love new tech. I'm
Hmm.
just like I can't like I have been glued to what's going on at CES for the past like 3 days. Um Samsung has a new TV type. Well, they're not
Hmm.
the only ones. Micro LED is becoming a new thing, and it's not even just TVs. Like even like Govee in terms of like lights and light strips and stuff like that are going to micro RGB. I think I said micro LED, micro RGB, which is supposed to allow RGBs that are smaller than a micron to be
Jesus.
dimmer without losing quality of color. Um, it's really interesting. Uh, they also showed they have like a painting television, it's a super
Hmm.
thin painting
Seen that.
television LG has. They showed it last year, but last year it had like a ribbon that was coming from it and all this, and now they have a separate box that sends all of the information, TV and signal and so forth to the TV screen, so you can literally just mount the TV. You don't have to have any wires or anything running to it. Power, all of that. Um, which is
Pretty clean.
again, it's pretty dope. But for the purposes of what we really do here, I dropped a link for you, and I want you to grab this link um and play this because this might be scary. There's always new robots. Of course, there's a lot of talk of AI, and it's in everything. It's just
Hmm.
what it is. Um,
Everybody pop that joint up.
but this Razer actually unveiled. It's called like Project Ava.
Ava.
They actually technically unveiled this last year, but this year, um, I don't know, bro. It got scary this year. So
Wakey, wakey,
it's at a
rise and
standstill on this.
shine. Morning, Joey. You were snoring again. Definitely wear your favorite green jacket. Look, now we're really vibing. Have a good day.
Hey, cutie.
Hi, Amanda.
Why is she
Great
wearing the same
brainstorming
jacket?
last night.
Actually, I need more.
What if we flip the design here? Do you think it can work?
Nice. I think you're onto something.
Hold A, soldier. We need more air support.
Yeah.
Whoa, clean
Did you see
shot.
that?
Nice one.
Oof. Maybe aim for the head next time? Break line of sight.
Switch to burst fire mid-range.
GG, that was amazing. Ready to go again? This is Project Ava, your AI desk companion. Do you think they know we're actually calling the shots?
Nope, let's keep it that way.
Hey, bro, that's scary. I don't like that.
Oh, no. Hey, look, you already know me. If I could put Zordon in that and I'm talking to Zordon on there, I think I may be sold.
You know what? I do know you. I am scared of that. That that's messing with me. I want to take a look at their website real quick. So here's the thing. For a limited time, all orders over $99 will enjoy free standard shipping to the United States. This is what it looks like. That's one of the options you have. So, Project Ava, your AI desk companion. Meet Project Ava, your 24/7 AI companion designed to live right alongside you. Powered by advanced AI, Ava features a dynamic personality that learns and evolves based on your interactions. Brought to life as an animated 5.5-inch 3D hologram. She uses human-like vision and audio sensing for full contextual awareness. Ava simplifies life by organizing your schedule, consulting on work tasks, and guiding you to victory as your enthusiastic gaming wingman. This particular video is different from the one that we watched earlier. It just kind of goes into some of the details. We're not going to do that right now. Here are the AI companions that are available, including Faker, who is an actual like esports player. There's no color in them, so we're gonna skip them. But like your companion for everything, life, your personal life organizer, so daily planner, proactively manage your calendar, wardrobe selection, or figure out what to eat that night. Wellness and routine coach, track habits, moods, and provide personalized motivation and reminders for your self-care routines. There's work. So your AI enabled consultant, creative brainstorming, engage in two-way conversation to rapidly generate concepts, refine pitches, and develop unique project strategies. Instant data synthesis, analyze complex documents and spreadsheets, summarizing key trends and critical data points immediately. Multi-language translator, provide real-time seamless translation for both text and two-way verbal conversation. Bruh, it's a little tricky, bruh. And then your top tier gaming teammate, real time strategy advisor, provide live dynamic coaching to solve puzzles and identify critical opponent vulnerabilities. AI quest companion, access and relay complex in game lore, item stats, or character backstories without pausing the action. Gaming wingman, a true companion that provides real time hype, celebrates your wins, and offers supportive encouragement after tough losses. So, look. Dual far field array mics, HD camera, ambient light sensor, customizable showcase LEDs, swappable 5.5 3D holographic avatar, blah, 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 yakety schmackety, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little scary, though. I just want you to know.
It definitely is. Like I like the concept, but it's just
Okay.
we've seen at this point we've seen so many movies and things now with having the AI know it's going to learn. It's going to eventually be like, nah, you ain't doing this. I'm about to come out here and it's 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 cool. It's scary. Like it checks like all these boxes at the same time. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yes, it can be the daily help, and hey, listen, I hate that it takes away from, like, say if you want like a personal uh uh um like you're trying to eat more healthy, you're taking away from
Sure.
a real person that you can get it from like the AI on here. So it's like, yes, it can help, but it's just like at the same time, this is like taken away from the
All
real person
right.
that could do. Yeah, it's oh, Heather, hey, hold on. Heather already hit the nail on the head. You already know that's that is
All that
absolutely
now, people definitely hack the appearance and them in many lawsuits. Oh, and them joints gonna be
that.
butt naked in the first week. Period.
That joke will be
Period.
jailbroken and ready to go, and someone gonna have the software ready to go by like an hour after that joke comes out.
It's not gonna take long. Um, all
J.
right,
Rob
look,
hit the
let's
money on
get
the head
into
too.
how long till someone tries to marry one. Well, here's the thing. People are already doing that. See, this is the reason
Yeah.
why, like, people are already doing that in Japan and in some other countries. Like, people are already doing that and have been doing that for a number of years. This is not as weird outside of this
Mm-hmm.
country as it is in this country. Nah, it's still weird outside of the country, but
I want to
it's
say
been happening
acceptable is
for a
not.
long time.
Yeah, acceptable is the word to use.
Acceptable also is not the right word to use, but it's still already a thing in other places. You know what I mean? And I just, it seems like the need as a company to like rush to market to be the first to unveil a thing that is
Mhm.
this kind of a thing makes people like not consider whether or not it's a good idea to put this thing in front of people. That's
Mhm.
There are stories about like Chat GPT assisting people with their suicides.
Mhm.
Like we're already in that space. So something like this is dangerous in a completely different way. And meanwhile, they're just like,
I'm gonna
we
put
should
that on
burn
the
books.
screen.
Not like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, anyway, jokes. Let's get into our most anticipated things of 2026. We're not going to run the show too much longer, but let's
Mhm.
get into some of the things that we're looking forward to for this year. Where would you like to start? Would you like to start at games, movies, or TV? Or is there some other
Let's
category that you
let's start at
have some
games.
things?
I think
All
let's
right,
let's start with games.
we can start at games. I'm good with that. Um, Look, can we just get rid of the elephant in the room? GTA 6.
Oh, GTA 6. Hopefully.
You know what? I'll be honest. I don't think there's any way it doesn't come out this year. I think it 100% happens this year.
Mhm.
I, I don't know why I say that. It's just how I feel. Um, Let me be real with you. Either Microsoft is putting out a new console this year or next year.
Mhm.
PlayStation 6 is probably at least another 2 years away.
Mhm.
It is my thought process is Rockstar will want to milk this as much as they can by putting out a this generation
This
version of
generation
it
version. Yeah.
and being able to do another version of it that they can sell as the next consoles come out.
Mhm.
And based on that, my thought process is they're going to do everything in their power to hit this year. And the only thing I think that will prevent them from doing that is crunch and people kind of walking out and some of the turmoil that we've seen at Rockstar recently. But outside of that,
Mhm.
I think it is. And you probably have some of these same ones. Marvel's
Oh, yeah.
Wolverine,
Yep. It's on the list.
Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Um, I know you've played it. I have not
Mhm.
played it. I don't want to. I don't want to touch it till I can own it. Once I can own it, I want to
It's
run.
all.
Yes, 100%. Fable. You think we really get Fable this year? You think it's happening?
I think like this is the same boat now. Like it's dog, how many years now has it been since we've officially got the announcement of it? Like it's insane now. I feel like we're at the point where that's got to come out like this year. Like there's hardcore fans that just love the Fable franchise. Um, I don't know how much further, other than the fact, like you said, a new console. If it's going to try to hold on to it until the new console comes out, or if they try to do the same thing and put it on this gen, and then you know what? Hey, obviously Xbox is there. You're going to end up just probably getting the upgrade regardless, so it won't even matter on that side of the playing field anyway.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think, I mean, we haven't really seen much of it, but I just feel like it's time and it's supposed to be this year. That's kind of where I am.
Yes.
So, like, if it's actually coming, like, I have a lot of love for Fable and for the franchise, and I'm very interested in seeing what this new studio can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, um, we should be getting another Forza Horizon 6. We also are supposed to be getting the new version of the first Halo game,
Mm-hmm.
and we're supposed to be getting Gears E-Day. So,
E
like,
Day.
the idea of getting four major franchises from Microsoft this year in Fable, Forza, Halo, and Gears could
Mm-hmm.
be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my biggest concern is how do they do it? How do they spread it out if they're going to try to do all of those things? And right now, the thing that's the most in the way of that is GTA, because
Yeah.
everybody's going to want to be out of the way of it, right? And
Hmm.
so that, I think, again, creates another issue for a lot of these things that we're anticipating and when they're going to come out, because we just don't know when that's going to hit. But we know we expect it to be in the fall, and
Hmm.
wherever it falls, everything else better move.
The move
Like
and
move.
get the hell out of the way.
Yeah. Um yeah, but Forza Horizon 6 being in Japan, like I just think I was playing Forza Horizon 5 like a week and a half ago.
Hmm.
That joint is ridiculously fun. And there's still so much to do it, and there was so much. I just never got to all of it. I was having an incredible time. Um and I was playing it in the VR headset, which was like again another just different experience. So
Hmm.
I'm highly looking forward to that. I'm sure this is also on your list. 007 First Light. As a major James Bond fan that you are, um, I have high expectations on you being my point man on this game. Now,
Yes.
I love the Hitman franchise, and since
Hmm.
this is made by the folks who do Hitman, just I'm in there.
It's a perfect combination. It's the perfect storm. I feel like that it should be damn near flawless. Honestly, should be.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's wishful thinking is allowed. And I've already said Gears of War E-Day. I think that's pretty much it for me. I'm sure there's some other things that I missed, but those are the things that were top of mind. So that's what I got. What do
Mm.
you have?
Yeah, you hit the nail on a couple of those. Another one, Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. Um,
You're absolutely right. That's
yeah,
gonna be incredible.
like just taking already the Lego games already super fun to play as they are, but when you take the mechanics of the Arkham games and you're gonna put them into a Lego game, I don't.
You cooking with gas? Like I'm not. Yeah,
Hey, listen, I don't know what more you can do. And you're going to go through, obviously, the whole span of everything Batman, from Adam West Batman, Christian Bale
yep.
Batman, Patterson Batman. Everything's going to be there. It's This game is not going to be a small thing. Like, this is something that it's going to take some time to put in work, but that absolutely is going to be amazing. Um, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Um, I would say within the last, yeah.
I forget sometimes that you turned into a Fire Emblem person like a couple years ago.
Hey, dog,
It's
listen.
still a little weird to me. It's a little weird to
But
me.
Three Houses is what got me into this franchise, and
I know.
with this game and the way that they showed us the trailer, it looks like this game is also going to be within the same world universe that Three Houses was in. Um, that already piqued my interest right there. It's There's no, like, the gameplay style is the same. Like, it's kind of like, a little bit of what you're expecting to get out of it, which is always a good thing. It's just a matter of how the story is intertwined and they do things with it. So
Correct.
I'm on board with it. Um, NBA The Run. Um,
All right. All right.
NBA The Run. So it's supposed to be a spiritual successor to the NBA Street franchise. So
Uh huh.
a lot of the people that worked at EA during the time, new studio play by play, is
Yep.
making this version, which I have high expectations. Like, just thinking where it's coming from. Like, obviously, we've been trying to get and talk up NBA Street now for years and years, and obviously hasn't happened. This is going to be the closest thing, obviously, to us potentially getting back into something similar, but
I'm gonna tell
I
you
don't
what. I'm
know.
gonna tell you what makes that difficult for me. I don't really care about the NBA anymore. Like when NBA Street came out, when those games were hitting, I was all about it, and I knew all the players, and I don't even know who these people are anymore. I just don't even care anymore. And so like
Listen, they can just add
It's
in.
more difficult for me to get excited about that because
Mhm.
I don't. It's
I need to
but I
create. If you can
but
make a creative player mode, or just give us some of those stretch and all of them that they had, and just make it a little bit of a unique. But it looks like it is going to be based off of real NBA players
yeah,
fully versus mixing. So who
we'll
knows?
see. Okay.
Um, two more on my side. Um, Invincible versus. I'm intrigued. I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily over the top thrilled or anything like that. I think it's going to be
Is it
cool.
actually one of your most anticipated then? That's why it's not
Maybe
on my
not.
list because I'm like,
Got it.
it looks like it might be
Mhm.
decent, but like I
Yeah.
don't, and I'm hearing good things about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
We shall
like
see.
with the other fighters that are around, like I'm probably good.
Probably good on there.
Yeah.
The last thing I have on my
I
list.
would say on that note,
Mm,
currently I'm more interested in the Avatar fighting game
I
than I
got that
am
on my list.
the
That
other.
actually is on. That is on my list as well too. Um, I got the game list is huge. Like I don't want to, but the last one really is up for me is Pokemon Champions. Um, Champions is supposed to be another successor type of title to like the Pokemon Stadium games that came out on N64. They haven't been as fully open other than showing some of how the gameplay works. It's the same turn by turn play that you're familiar with. I'm eager to know if they're going to end up incorporating, like a lot of the mini games and things like Mario Party had that kind of made the stadium title a unique feel to it involving Pokemon. But there's still a lot of information that they got to provide for it. Right now, we only know that it's supposed to be 2026. They didn't say summer, they didn't say spring or anything like that. So right now, it's kind of in the wind as far as it comes. If they were planning for fall and GTA comes out, that could change things. But it's Nintendo; they're not gonna really care. But
I was gonna say
that's why
they actually might not move for GTA. They might be like,
that's gonna come out on the
whatever.
same
They gonna
day.
buy both. They might wait until they announce it and be like, guess what we doing? Pokemon. Same day. like they might just be like, whatever, dog. Yeah. Because I swear people are just gonna buy both. Like I don't even think
Facts.
anyway. See? All right. What do you want to do next? Movies or TV?
um, TV. I don't know. I feel like TV may not take as long.
TV. It shouldn't. I look. There's not a lot for me in TV.
Mm,
Right now, Wonder Man is like right on the cusp. It's coming out in a couple of weeks.
mhm,
I'm just really interested in seeing. Again, it's MCU tied, so I just want to see where that goes. On that same note, Vision Quest, because again,
mhm.
it's
Same.
MCU. I want to know what's going on with Vision. We've been waiting for quite some time. We have not seen Slim at all since WandaVision, which was the
Mm,
very first Disney Plus
TV
TV show for the
plus.
MCU. So, what is going on? Now, just recently announced, like last week, Malcolm in the Middle is coming back.
Mhm,
Malcolm in the Middle, life is still unfair. And let me tell you something. Malcolm in the Middle, like I was late to that show.
mhm,
I didn't watch it like when they first started to air. I caught up with it like later on. It's one of those shows that's like it's a guilty pleasure.
mhm.
That show is way funnier than it has any right to be. Bryan Cranston is incredible in that show. And like I don't know. Somehow the idea of them bringing it back, unlike when they do this with other shows, for
Mhm,
some reason, the trailer alone for it made me go, you know what? This might actually work. Because just
mhm.
the concept is still perfect. He's the only person in
It's the
his
same.
family that's even remotely normal. And like the idea that he's been basically like trying to hide from them and act like his family doesn't exist. And for whatever reason now, they found him. And now he got to start, like, I don't know. The premise sounds really dope. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll keep watching it, but right now, highly
The interest
anticipated.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Outside of that, there are a couple other things that are like, but I haven't really managed to really get into TV a lot recently. But one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called The Burbs. Tom Hanks. It's incredible. And they are doing a show called The Burbs. It is slated for 8 episodes. It is Keke Palmer. And over the course of the 8 episodes, they're going to do, like, I don't know if you've ever seen The Burbs, but in the movie itself, like, Tom Hanks and his neighbors kind of play these, they almost like a neighborhood watch. Like, they just regular dudes at
Mhm.
whatever, but they got these weird neighbors that, like, they become more and more convinced over the course of the movie that they're killing people and burying bodies in the backyard, kind of thing. And the family is, they're kind of weird that they're watching. They're almost like an Addams family kind of family or
Mhm.
whatever. Man, that's a good movie. Anyway, the only reason why I even care that they're doing it is because I love that movie so much. That movie is
Mhm.
absolutely hilarious. It's one of Tom Hanks' best movies, period. Um, and so that's the only reason why I even care about that. Outside of that, for the most part, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
I'm interested in, but not stuff that I'm like crazily anticipating. So that's it for me. What do you got?
Got it. Um, Two at the top of my list. I gotta go with the two Star Trek shows. So, Strange New Worlds and Starfleet Academy. Strange New Worlds, of
Mm-hmm.
course, latest season. No different. We're continuing that story. I'm already amped for that. But the one that has my interest peaked more is Starfleet Academy, which actually starts like in a week and a half. Um, Obviously, throughout the Star Trek franchise, Starfleet Academy is where you go. This is where you learn things before you make it to your starship that you're going to do. We've had little small interactions with Starfleet Academy, but we've never had anything where we fully have been able
Like the
to
actual show.
dive in and
Yeah.
really get involved with Starfleet Academy. I think this is a really
Yep.
cool concept. Like, I think of, like the Harry Potter, like obviously something like that where you're going to learn things, but clearly they're already showing scenes where like certain individuals are on like main ships, things are happening. So it seems like there'll be like a little bit of a going back and forth, but the majority of the story will be told from the Starfleet Academy side of things. So I'm really
Yeah.
intrigued to see
It
how
does
we go,
look really
especially
cool.
if it could be really cool, especially if we take these characters and then potentially, spin off into a new series where we see them go from being the students to now being like running and
See
being
now,
on a
see
ship
now,
doing.
see now you pitching it. See no, see now you
I'm doing
pitching
too
for the
much. Okay.
stars. We're not
I'm doing
supposed
too
to
much.
do all that. We just,
I'm doing too much.
yeah, come on.
Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. That's where I'm at.
That's how you end up
Um,
disappointing yourself if they don't do any of that. Then you're
you're
gonna be
right.
like,
And I got to tone it back a little bit. You're right though.
slow down. Yeah.
Um, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Steel Ball Run. The latest interactions for JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Love this
Yeah.
franchise. It is so over the top, funny. Like this, arguably from a lot of people says this is the best part of the JoJo saga, at least in the manga
Okay.
side. I haven't read it yet. I've tried to stay away from it because I want to be able to really watch this on screen. The crazy
No
part is like,
spoilers.
as much as I'm going to enjoy this, I'm eager to hear what in song R&B thing they are going to attach to this.
And what if
Like
they don't do it at all? You're gonna be
if
disappointed
they
if they
don't,
don't do it at all.
it would be super weird. Like I feel like you've done it with every season up to this point. It would be super weird to go about it. Like we know the creator of
Do we
JoJo's.
do we know do we know what year? Because all of the songs are based on like that season taking place in a particular year, and they always pull. My understanding of it is they always pull whatever like the top R&B song was from that year. So if we know what year this is taking place, We could
I don't know what
probably
year's
guess
taking
what joint it's gonna be.
goes. I don't know what years take place. You know what? I'll look that up later because then we could probably to figure that out. That'd
But
be
we
an
could probably
interesting
do
thing.
like
But
a little thing guessing on what song
listen,
it's
we
gonna
could guess
be.
that because that,
All right, I'm
but
down.
super amped for that. Of course, you already hit on a couple. One that I am actually, and this is kind of saying, I'm interested, and I'm tapering myself back a little bit, but because I love the franchise, um, Crystal Lake. Now, this is supposed to
All
be
right.
the first part of it. It's supposed to be a prequel to the Friday the 13th movies. So already I'm kind of like, that kind of defeats the purpose if Jason necessarily isn't Jason. But I know we're supposed to learn a little bit more of the backstory and how he came to be and all this. But apparently, we will get actual like Jason action somehow in here because they casted, I believe, one of the guys that did the more recent being behind the mask of Jason is supposed to be in this. And they haven't been clear on if he's going to actually be portraying Jason or just some other character. So
Maybe playing his
I'm
dad or something like. Who
could be.
knows?
So like I'm intrigued just for off the fact I love all like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I love all of those. So yeah, I'm going to it. I'm super amped, but at the same time I'm kind of like I'm a little cautious because I'm like this could go left really quick depending on how we do
Hey dog,
this.
I bet you don't watch a single episode of that joint.
Oh, it's on
I bet you just
Peacock, so it'll be there. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it because I gave Peacock my money for
all right.
watching WWE, and it's no longer there anymore. So
Oh,
gotta
I
get some
know.
type of use out of it for right now.
I know.
Last thing for TV on my
Yeah.
list, the final season for Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War that drops in July. Um, it's kind of crazy to think that we had this whole almost like a decade time jump in between when the show first went off and now of course came back and we're finally animated the final arc. Um, the studio behind this has absolutely done an amazing job. Like they've done stuff like Naruto. They got a couple things coming out this year, but Bleach is probably going to be the biggest on the list just because of this. This is the wrapping up of the story. As of now, like there is no other Bleach manga or content, so this is really as of now the definitive end to where Bleach is going to be at. So super
Okay.
amped to get that in July. But that's my TV list.
All right. Well, that just means movies. So let's get the big dogs out of the way. Obviously, Avengers Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a part of me that is just excited to see if they can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stakes are just so high. It's so much bigger than like what the MCU already is and whatever. Like the stakes are just so high that part of me for it, part of the excitement that I have for it, that anticipation that I have for it is like, can the Russos make this happen? Can they bring the
No.
MCU back? Can they put us all in a place where we feel good about it and we're comfortable with it and we're happy about it? Can they bring in new people? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is an opportunity to kind of put a clean slate in front of it, and for like the almost 2 decades that the MCU has existed, you have people who aren't in and have never been in and or were too far behind to get in, and just like with comic books, you kind of almost need to give them a good starting point. And
Mm-hmm.
so Doomsday feels like an opportunity to put an end in place so that you can create a new starting point that old audiences and new audiences alike
Mm-hmm.
can grow into together. So we'll see. Um, Obviously, on that note, Spider-Man: Brave New
I
World.
remember.
It's a
Brand new
new live
day.
action Spider-Man movie.
Oh wait.
Brand new day.
Yeah,
My bad.
brand new day. I was like,
Brand
wait,
new day.
Cat? What? You didn't make Spidey Cat now.
Brave. It's Brave New World is like what I need this movie, right? So here's the thing that's interesting about this movie. Originally, it was supposed to come out after Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming out before Doomsday, almost a full 6 months, right? It comes out July 31st. Doomsday is like at the very end. I think it's like December 18th or something like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
towards the very end of the year. Another movie that I'm anticipating, I'm wishy-washy on it, but The Odyssey.
Same. It's on my
The
list
only
too.
reason
Yep.
why I'm anticipating is because it also comes out in July. It comes out July 17th. And so 2 weeks apart, we have Tom Holland potentially being in what could be the two biggest movies
Biggest
of the
movies.
year
Yes.
at the same time. Like he will have two movies in the theater at the same time. And then he's gonna be in Doomsday, which means
Doomsday.
at
Right.
the end of the year, he's back in what might be the biggest movie of the year
Yeah.
again. And here's the thing about Doomsday. Doomsday only gets like 2 weeks to be the biggest movie of the year because it's coming out right at the end of the year.
Uh-huh.
So if it manages to hit that moniker like of the biggest movie of the year, it's got to do it in a very short period of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which also means these other movies need to set it up to make that happen, which is part of
Yep.
why I feel like they're building the anticipation the way they are for it. All right, Supergirl. Not a fan of the young lady playing Supergirl, but I like Supergirl. And I
Mm-hmm.
am a big fan of the original Supergirl movie. Used to love that movie. I used to watch that movie over and over and over again. You know I like Supergirl way better than Superman. You know I think she's better than
Mm-hmm.
Superman. I don't really have a major take on what this is, but I'm
Right.
also excited about getting that live action Lobo, right? And
Mm-hmm.
again, just kind of seeing where it's going. I was pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't even really surprised is probably not the right word, but I enjoyed Superman 2025 like a lot. Like I thought it was really well done. And the continuation of where James Gunn is taking the the DCU, I think is exciting. My biggest
Mm-hmm.
concern is at the time it comes out, is Netflix going to own it? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, but I think there's a lot of potential for it, and I think that it being also like right in the middle of the year is going to be a big deal. Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to say anything more about that.
Nope. Peaches, 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 peaches.
Mandalorian and Grogu. To take something that was such a surprise hit on Disney Plus and finally take it to the big screen, I think is a major step for Star Wars and the Star Wars franchise. I think there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
riding on this movie.
I
I don't
agree.
know if you saw that. Basically, today they announced that like Dave Filoni is going to
I saw
replace
that.
Kathleen
Yep.
Kennedy
Mm-hmm.
as he should, right? Like he is the
Yep.
right
He
person
is.
to be
Yeah,
at the
he's the
helm
right
for
one.
all things Star Wars. Period. So that's exciting. Like it's exciting for me, but I do think that there's a lot of what's happening with what has happened with those shows and the direction that he's led those shows in that have solidified his place
Mm-hmm.
in doing that. And I think there's a lot riding on this movie for that. And I'm also very interested in seeing how long they let Pedro Pascal keep his face hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, look, when you
Hey,
pay
that mask gonna
Pedro, you
get
pay
broke.
Pedro to be seen.
So that helmet gonna get
You know what I'm
shattered at
saying?
some point, something, and it's gonna take him a while to fight put that back together.
Maybe he stops being a Mandalorian. Maybe he gives up the like. I don't know. Again,
Mm-hmm.
also, I need to know what happens to Grogu.
Yeah.
His entire speech, like, what are we doing? Where are we going? What's happening? Like, I need to know
Yeah.
what's happening. So I'm amped for that. Disclosure Day.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the new Steven Spielberg Alien movie about the fact that aliens have been on the planet for however long, and the world is now, we now must disclose to the rest of the globe that aliens exist and that they're kind of walking among us. And I don't know if you've seen that trailer, Jokes.
I haven't seen that trailer.
Hey, listen, this is the Steven Spielberg I've been waiting for. Like, this is like
Okay.
in the pocket Steven Spielberg right here, bro. I really feel like, hey, dog, you should look it up. We should watch the trailer real quick. That joint's crazy. I think that joint's gonna be incredible. While you look that up, let me just say, we are getting both Mortal Kombat 2 and
Bruh.
the Street Fighter movie in the same year. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't have high hopes for Mortal Kombat, but I want to see it so bad. So it is. I am highly anticipating it.
All right. What did you say the
On
name of that
flip
joint was
side,
again?
Disclosure Day. On the flip side, I think it's Jessica Chastain. I think is in it. Anyway, you'll see.
Got it.
Street Fighter, I think it's going to be incredible. I think that movie is going to be everything we wanted to be. I think it's not going to take itself too seriously, which is perfect.
Mhm.
Like, Mortal Kombat is like leaning into itself. Street Fighter, I feel like, is going to be like, hey, dog, we a video game movie. You know what I mean? Like, let's.
Right. This is
Like, I feel like they're leaning into it the right way for me to be comfortable with them doing it enough to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's do Street Fighter. I'm day
all
one.
right. Got it.
So, all right, let's look at Disclosure Day, and then let's go through your list, and then let's shut the show down.
Dig it.
If you found out we weren't alone,
I'm not saying anything.
if someone showed
Oof.
you, proved it to you,
It's very choppy for me. Is it choppy for you?
Would
It's
that
funny and smooth on my
frighten you?
side right now, but if it's,
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at
but I feel like maybe it's choppy for everybody else.
Let's
It's very choppy for me.
Today is today's
Oh. She ain't gonna make it.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
what is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm gonna show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
People keep wondering. Encountering the unknown. They're coming! They're coming! They are starved for the truth.
Hey, my man is getting Coleman Domingo
Do you
is
think
getting
there
that
could be
bread.
others?
He getting that work, bro.
He getting
Why would he make such a vast universe? Yet save it only for us.
Hey, dog.
Yeah, that
I'm trying to tell you, bro, that joint's gonna be a problem.
yeah, that yeah.
All right, let's run your list.
Cool. Yeah, you nailed all the big ones that are on the list. So the couple that I have a little bit different. So Scream 7. It's another one of those, like just like we just had
I
this
almost put
discussion
that on my
before.
list, but yeah.
Hey, listen, like I love these type of movies. The Scream franchise has been it got a little weird in the middle, and then obviously with the last couple, we had a little bit of shifting gears. obviously with losing the main people that they have from the previous movie into this one and pulling back obviously Nev Campbell and having some of the OG cast in here makes this very, very interesting to see how we can do with the Scream franchise.
I agree.
I'm super intrigued to see what they do. Like, obviously, it always ends up coming down to who is actually behind the ghost face mask. How can we twist this and make this as different as possible or make it as crazy and far-fetched out there? Listen, I'm in. I'm sold. Scream 7.
Okay.
Toy Story 5. I love Toy Story.
All right.
I felt like we've ended the franchise at 2 points that were good. You know what? Let's just go ahead, and I think we've done a great job for it. When they originally announced Toy Story 5, I kind of was like, I don't know if we need to do this. But then when they bought what this movie was going to,
don't need to do we don't need to do this, Jokes. 100% we don't need to do this.
Hey, listen, but when we decided to bring it into the now times and we're doing the toys versus technology with the tablet and everything, I was like, this could work. I got questions though, because with the way the last movie ended and we see like all the toys together, I got questions that I seriously need answered. But yeah, it does seem like they're milking it a little bit, but I'm open. I'm intrigued. I love Toy Story. I'm here for it. I'm ready to see what they do for it. Everything else you got. Oh, The Bride. Comes out in March.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
a different telling of, you know, Frankenstein trying to find his partner. Like, cast, I think is solid. I'm just the one trailer. I was like, yo, this has me hooked. So hopefully the trailer didn't overhype it.
It has me intrigued. I don't know if I would put it on my most anticipated list, but it has me. Well, I didn't put it on my most anticipated list. Like I thought about it, but I'm very unsure of what that is going to end up being. Yeah, but I
outside of that, you hit the nail on all the big ones, because obviously they're on my list as well too. And I'm sure, obviously, as we get through the year, there's going to be a couple of things that are going to come along that we weren't either expecting or whatever. It's just, it is what it is. But as of now, those are a couple different ones that I have on my list.
Okay. I think it's a solid list. I think it's shaping up to be a pretty solid year. Like, just these projects, all of the things that are happening in pop culture, games, movies, TV, and other things, right? Like, there's...
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I only have like two other things. They're just in like the other category. I know a lot of people probably just like me. 2026 is the 40th anniversary for the Dragon Ball franchise. That is disgusting to say. It's the 40th anniversary. On the 25th of January, they are having a major event that is potentially, what they're announcing right now is the return of Dragon Ball Super, possibly a remake. I don't think it's going to be that, but I do think it's going to be coming back. New movie, new game. There's supposed to be a whole bunch of announcements that are coming. So I'm super eager to see what gets unveiled there. Whereas Dragon Ball is the 40th anniversary, Evangelion is on its 30th anniversary.
So it's Pokemon, right?
Pokemon is also on its 30th anniversary. I know we kind of had already talked about that. So there's a lot of milestones that 2026 is bringing to the table. And Pokemon right now, the only thing we know is we're getting a 30th anniversary trading card game set that's supposed to be, one, they're partnering with McDonald's that are going to be doing the same. You get the Happy Meal, you get whatever cards comes with it. But there's also supposed to be a new major main set that's supposed to come out. Don't know exactly what that looks like as of yet, as we have already done the set called 151, which was a new release of the original set. So this one I think is going to be a little bit of a different twist that they may do, maybe introducing some of evolutions and things that have kind of been lost over time. But we're supposed to get some news on that in February, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, let's wrap the show up, dog. Wrestling never stops. Nothing popping this week, right?
Nope. Chill week this week. Biggest thing that has happened. Yeah. All right.
Expect a little bit of a. I think there'll probably be some things popping out of MagFest this weekend that we may talk about next week. We'll see how that pans out. We're gearing up. We have like Big Lick in a couple of weeks, and then Katsu like the week after that, and then BlurredCon and AwesomeCon the first couple of weeks of March. It's like we're gearing up. Like it's coming. It's that time. So we're gearing up to continue to be very, very busy. Looking forward to just kind of continuing to give you guys these shows. We intend to have a lot of guests this year. There's a lot going on as far as that kind of stuff is concerned. There's some things brewing in that space. Working on trying to put together some meetups and that kind of stuff. So just, kind of keep your eyes glued, pay attention to what's going on our social medias and so forth. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us this evening. Special shout out to the lurkers, you know what I mean? The non-commenters and so forth. We greatly appreciate you being here with us. Jokes, tell the people what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we're out. Toodles and loose.
Loading snacks.